We say it most weeks, but this week it does ring true. This is a big show of the Phantoms Lair. Some big heads in the studio today as well. This is the Phantom speaking. Welcome back to the show. One more bye round to go. The Chief is here. 5 Names is here. Big weekend. 5 Names.
Yep. I mean,
start with you.
Well, let's start with you.
Because if we go to the other guy, if we go to the other guy,
yeah,
that'll be the end of the show.
No,
He'll keep talking.
Yeah. No, let's start with you. I thought you weren't going to be on the show.
You're going to go me straight away?
Yeah, you're going to go straight away. I thought you weren't going to be on the show.
This is my show.
You said if Colby McKercher has, was it 20, 25 disposals?
24 kicks, he would score 150.
Yeah, he had 20 kicks, and then he got, what did he finish? 96.
I didn't say 20 kicks. I said 24.
24, those 4 kicks are going to make it
we'll
up.
never know. Colby McKercher, hot topic.
Yeah.
Also, as well, coming later, big pan. Biggest pan of the year, maybe. Had to get the big walk
I've made some more adjustments on the set if you are watching on the Code Sports YouTube channel. And Vance, there's a couple of Guernseys up on the wall.
Okay,
we've switched it around.
On.
You know, we are based in Adelaide here, usually like our Adelaide and Port on the wall. The Freo and West Coast Guernseys are up there. One in particular, the Fremantle one, right above your head there, Sim.
You did this yourself as well. Before.
Yeah, what a fantastic Guernsey it is.
Come on, what happened? Quickly, we might as well go into, as we do every week, top of the pod, around the table. How do we go? Finally put us out of our misery. You've been talking about it all weekend. You called it last week. What happened? What'd you do?
I called back to back actually, so I'm already calling, and I'm happy to call it right now.
Week.
I'll be top of the pod in this week as well. Maybe I'm the new king of the buys because you made the claim 5 Names last year. You were the king of the buys. Well, this is going to be my second top of the pod already for the buys, I think, and I'll be aiming for a third next week.
5 Names, don't leave. Please.
I need to get out. I need to get out of here.
6 weeks by myself.
I've got Smug Dossy, Smug fan.
Now, just for a bit of a recap from last week, changed the trade plans completely for myself, and I'll get to my hero in a minute. We'll talk heroes and villains more broadly, but changed the trade plans completely when we found out Luke Jackson was going to be the solo ruck against debutant Vigo Vicentini.
He was good, Vigo.
He was good.
Yeah.
Luke Jackson, though, since that moment on. Was it Thursday night?
So you spent all your money on one player?
It was Smug Dossy, though, for the rest. I don't care. 186.
3 trades,
186. And I don't know if you guys seen the South Park episode where they get the hybrids. There's just this Smug moment that it just reminded me of myself.
Yeah, it's a hybrid. I just couldn't sit back and be a part of destroying the Earth anymore.
Well, good for you.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. Got my Luke Jackson.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Thanks.
I didn't realize. I didn't actually know that was coming.
Still just a mediocre score, though, in the end for you.
Yeah, not great. Yeah, well, not great in the context of things because we had some absolute monster scores this week. I thought I was going huge. I had some massive scores. So did you guys. But 21.89 for me. And you would think 21.89, having a Luke Jackson captain, having a Bont monster score, having a Dacos monster, Butters monster, all these big scores, I ended up being 11,000th for the round, which was far worse than my last week because we had some coaches scoring 2,500 this week. Was the top scores this week were over 2,500. 9 coaches scored over 2,500. It was just a massive round in a bye round, best 18. That is just crazy numbers, fans.
Yep. Well done, Chief.
Thank you.
But 5 Names. So he's just gone. This is the ultimate. Gone for the sugar hit in SuperCoach. Gone for the big score. Spent $700,000. All his trades on one player. When I told him last week, told the SuperCoach world, was the easiest trading week of the whole year.
You did.
Maybe ever in SuperCoach. 2 absolute bargain premiums who scored, what they scored, 260 between them. Sam Darcy and Callum Mills. Nah, I'm too good for that. You overlooked it.
Yeah, I really hope that Darcy comes back for Freo soon. Like just to annoy Dossy.
Ooh.
Just to annoy Dossy.
Luke Jackson at full forward. Ooh, that might work for us there. 5 names. But I was middle of the pod.
Yep.
Yeah, and a strange week. Had some big scores. 2076 though. Went down 200 spots. Still sitting at 1720 overall. Still well clear of you in the overall stakes despite how good your team is, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
5 names.
Yep.
Bottom of the pod. And it is fitting, Chief. Now, give us the sting. Come on.
Yep.
Because
Sorry,
play it loud and a lot today. The 5 names heading off to Europe soon. Last show for 6 or 7 weeks. Might not even come back depending on how he goes over there. What happened?
Well,
King of Bop.
I still 2066, and then you had a word with Champion Data and got Bont scaled up. Yeah.
Well, you've been bagging Bont for the last 2 weeks. So you deserve
I deserve that. That Bont game was coming. I don't know. Just I thought I had you, and then you came back with all your Bulldogs and Sam Darcy. Captain, and yeah.
King of Bop. Send him off.
I can't wait to go.
When do you go?
Is this the final
5th.
pod?
Yeah, July 5.
Wow, the final.
Yeah.
Pod.
Nah,
Don't worry, we'll be giving you weekly calls.
Yep. Unannounced too.
Oh, that'd be good.
Time difference could work.
Yeah,
Could
we get the time zone right. Like, I'm happy to talk. Just get the time zone right. I'm not going to. Yeah.
Heroes and villains.
Yep.
Now, you're probably your own hero this week, given the way you've been talking, Chief.
Absolutely. Let's get into it, though.
Yep.
I will start us off, and it couldn't be anyone bar Luke Jackson with the 186 coming back into the squad. I started with him. You guys do know that. I did start with him, backed him in the preseason, and then, I'm just happy to have him back. Now, he's not going to solo ruck every single week, but I think he's still going to be a top 6 forward regardless of what role he plays. He's playing midfield when he's not rucking. He's playing forward, kicking goals. He's just one of the best players in the competition at the moment.
Yeah, we get
flat
it.
Out.
Come on.
He's a gun.
Cool.
We get it.
All right. I've got, don't you worry, on the weekend as well, ordered some new stuff for the studio, including, you best believe there's a Luke Jackson bobblehead coming into this studio very shortly.
Yeah, he's spending the podcast budget on his own little merchandise there.
Do you want to go, Phantom?
You got any heroes?
No, you go first. So I know you're going to go. I don't want to take him off you.
No, I'm not going to go to this one. You go it. You do it. Nick Dacos for me.
Okay.
Marcus Winhager wore him like an absolute glove, but Dacos absolutely torched him.
Yep.
Brilliant performance from the Collingwood superstar. 157 Supercoach points. Really took the game away from the Saints. They hung on for a little while there, but back in a big way in Supercoach. Again, proving he can break through a tag. Good buying this week, 559k. Get to that a bit later.
I'm going to go Callum Mills, actually.
Oh,
Just 121. Just as cheap. Yeah.
357, Chief.
Yeah.
357. You
under
overlooked him.
100K, yeah.
You spent double that. And how many extra points did you get? 60.
No, well, I doubled my 186 fans, so plenty more.
I mean, it's just no-brainer.
It was, wasn't it? It was just the most obvious move.
And he's playing the Zorko role as
It wasn't that obvious, yeah. I don't think it was that obvious. Matt Roberts was pushed a little bit out of his traditional role. Mills was taking kick-ins. Like, I don't know. That's not the role that I thought Mills would be having in this team, to be the scorer. I thought it was either going to be pure midfield or just helping out half-back. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was that obvious, fans. I think, well done.
Captain of the club, top 5 player at the club. But he's not just playing a role there in defence, Chief.
I don't know who's smugger, to be honest.
it's just, I'm generally hating this.
Buy, hold, sell. He's going for strength to strength, undefeated.
Good for you. Thanks.
Well done.
Sounds like fans too. It could be fans.
All right, to the villains. And my villain, none of us mentioned him as a hero, but stuff it, he's my villain. Bont going 177 ruined what could have been an elite captain score for me. Everyone else had Bont on for 177. My 186.
5 names.
Well, my 186 meant not a lot after the 177 came home, and he stuffed us up. He's got so cheap, everyone can afford him. Now he pops a big score. I mean, I'm happy, don't get me wrong, I'm happy with the 177, but I mean, it could have come a little earlier, to be honest. So, yeah, he's my villain, Bont.
Cool.
Dance.
Lachie Neal.
Oh, I was going to have him as well. He's been the worst pick I reckon I've had this year.
He tempers the frustration. He sort of bounces back with a big score and gets you all excited again and then gets some attention. Sometimes I guess Brisbane were great. Midfield won anyway. They won the game. Neil just, is happy to take a player, take his opponent away from the stoppage, allow his other midfielders to do the work. We don't like that in Supercoach though, because 72 Supercoach points, 3 sub-tons in the past 4 weeks. Not good enough. Do something.
Mine's going to be Jat Sinclair.
Oh, yeah.
That was bad. That was annoying.
Could not get near it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Naz was hogging it.
Yeah. Not going Naz. I had Naz on my team all
goodbye.
pre-season. I should have gone Naz.
Yep.
It's really hard watching that.
Oh, just a second villain quickly. Tom Stewart.
Oh,
Hitting form.
goodbye.
Do you remember I said Tom
I know.
Stewart?
I just can't go there, and I never will again, ever. So there you have it.
Ever.
Round 15 strategy, Fants. Thankfully, guys, it is the last of the bye rounds. We are nearly out. You're off to Europe. We're nearly out of the bye rounds.
Yep.
Things are looking up
Yep.
for the squad. One more to go. Best 18 again for one final week here.
It's not a great week either.
But
This will be the hard. Yeah.
it's arguably the toughest week. So I've got all the names. You spoke about Lachie Neal. Well, you know what? We won't have to deal with him this week because he's on the bye. And so are these players. So Brisbane, Essendon, Geelong and Giants are on the bye. Now that includes guys like this. These are the highly owned players. Bailey Smith, Max Holmes, Lachie Whitfield. We'll speak about him again soon as well. Lachie Neal, Dane Zorko, Zach Merritt, Will Ashcroft, Josh Dunkley, Nick Martin, Lachie Ash, Hugh McCluggage, Jai Caldwell, Tom Stewart again. And even guys that people have relied for a heartbeat, like your Angus Clark, Zach Johnsons, Levi Ashcrofts, guys like this. It is potential carnage for a few teams. Now, I know we mentioned you, Phantom, last week. You said you got a few.
No, I'm looking right now. I'm back.
You got a few players.
We'll have to trade.
Yeah, that's the strategy, I guess, comes to think about it. I think you've just got to think a lot of people are in the same boat, Phantom. So,
Except you.
Except me. I'm flying. I'm top of pod guaranteed this coming week. I have barely any of these guys.
5 names.
But 5 names. Do you think in general, given everyone's in the same boat, given most of us here, I guess, are running pretty low on trades, I think the general idea is if you are running low on trades this week, know that everyone's in the same boat, conserve those trades. But on the other side, if you do have plenty, you could be aggressive this week and try and jump up.
Absolutely.
How many is plenty? What do you guys got?
Probably 10 now would be heaps.
Yeah.
How many you got left? 5 names.
That's a good question.
I've only got 5
I've got
because I
5
used
too.
3. I wasn't only
5
planning on
trades
using
for 5
2.
names.
I've got 4.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So we're really
5 names,
scared.
4 trades.
Yeah, and I need to make a trade to get. I actually do need to get a forward rookie in to get one of my forward mids into my midfield. Yeah, it's
Well,
grim.
I want to make one more trade at some point. It's going to potentially wait. But the cash that I've got to play with at the moment really comes from the Bombers players. Angus Clark, Zach Johnson. Yes, they might make some more money after the buy, but how long can you wait? You can execute the upgrade now, go down to 2 or 3 trades, which is not ideal, but means I've got a 24th player, Tom McCarthy's on the bench. You know, you run the risk of getting some big name injuries and then losing because other people around you are trading them out to other premiums where you just have to play your bench cover. But then if a lot of people are in the same boat, which a lot of people are in SuperCoach, if to say Luke Jackson, also I won't say Marcus Bontempelli, Luke Jackson gets injured or something.
Yeah.
Is everyone in the same boat? And then at that point anyway, do you just make the move and go aggressive? That's where I'm weighing up at the moment.
Last year scarred me. I will not be trading unless I absolutely have to, or unless there's a bargain that I just can't pass up. And maybe that is, you know, a guy like a Callum Mills or Sam Darcy. Two of the bigger options this week. But I think I'm not going to pull the trigger on something like that. And I am going to wait until I need forced trades. 5 trades left. As I mentioned, last year scarred me. If you weren't following along, I had a Tom de Koning in my team last year, and I was luxury trading at this time of year. I was going from I think it was like a Nankervis I brought in for like can't even remember, like a Sherry. I don't know. I was trying to
Real rookie areas.
It was Rowan Marshall to Toby Nankervis. I think that's what happened.
Yep.
Rowan Marshall had a couple of down weeks. I was like, nah, I've had enough of this. Go to Nank. Nank got injured. Then TDK got injured, who was my other ruck. So I had like no trades left at this point. So I think I'd rather conserve trades, but being aggressive, especially if you're up the top end and you're really trying to push for that 50K, you know, it really depends on where your season's at, I think, fans.
I'll put a live poll on X right now.
Very good call.
How many trades everyone's got? We'll talk about it when we come back.
Yep. Are we happy? And
In general?
Yeah,
or
you're off to Europe. Are we happy with our teams coming out of the buys? Because we kind of mentioned we had all these strategies, we had all these thoughts. We each had our little trade plans entering the buy. You are the buy round expert, as you say.
I am the buy round,
names. Are you happy now that we're just about to exit? You might not make, I don't know what your trade plans are this week, but.
Yeah, at the moment I do, at the moment I will have no rookies on the field. So that's nice. I mean, I'm actually considering now just doing 2 trades to get Bonta because he's so cheap.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, at the moment, like there's some guys like I do have which I am not thrilled about, like a Lachie Neal.
Yeah.
Rankin, I don't know, like, how's he going to go the run home? I still got Saligo somehow. So
yeah, I forgot about Saligo.
Yeah, so in theory, yeah, I'm pretty happy. Like this, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. You Phantom? Did everything go to plan?
Nothing goes to plan.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm torn. We'll talk about it in my top targets because the more I looked at that for this week, the more I looked at what was available now, looked at what my team is looking like without trading this week. I'm leaning towards pulling that trigger 2 or 3 weeks earlier than I had planned, running the risk, maybe 2 or 3 trades.
Huge.
Yep. Plenty to talk about.
All right. The Lair's leading SuperCoach stories. I haven't, again, something like, we need a little something snappy. Give us an idea. If we need something at the start of the show here, Fans, a hot topic type of segment that we can go through the big leading stories. The Lair's leading stories is what I've got at the moment. We need some sort of sting. So give us some ideas in the comments on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're listening. But we need to head into the first big one, which is Lachie Whitfield on the weekend. Concussed on just 16. What do we do here? He's got the bye this week. Do we trade or do we hold? Obviously talking about having low trades. Does it matter let's talk about it if you've got few trades left versus if you've got plenty? What do you do with Whitfield?
Where's he going to play the following week?
Well, yes, I had sort of looked this up. Now, David Zeta replied to a SuperCoach fan asking this exact question. He said that the day you get injured is counted as your day 0. So day 1 would be today going forward. So day 12, which is how long you have to stay out with the concussion protocols now, would be the West Coast game, meaning he could actually play if he clears in the lead up, if he passes all the tests, etc. He has had some issues in the past, though, with lingering headaches and such. So,
and most players also a lot of players don't come back straight away.
Yeah. So if he was to miss the 2, and, it's all conjecture at the moment, technically he could play against West Coast, and that's obviously that could be a massive score if he does get up. But given it's an easier game as well, he's a little bit of history there, you'd maybe expect even that they would rest him that game. If he's missing 2, what are you going to do?
I think you give him 1 for the bye, not playing this week. 1 week injury at this stage of the year when you're trying to finish your team or make that extra upgrade is a hold for mine, definitely.
Yeah, hold.
Yeah, he's potentially still a top 6 defender on the run home, you'd expect probably is.
Yeah. 140 previous week, bounced back into form, going to half back again. Mm-hmm. Finn Callahan came back into that midfield as well, so they didn't need his run further up the ground. So
heaps of trades though. Sim, you're pulling the trigger there?
No, I don't even think so.
I don't think so.
No.
Use those trades to your advantage.
Yeah.
Upgrade, give yourself an extra premium, save a couple later for when someone does get injured when they might be put out pasture at the end of the year.
Now, we have a bunch of questions on Instagram, which we'll get to later, but one of the big ones revolved around Callum Mills, who's clearly another leading topic this week. Phantom, you mentioned easiest trades last week.
Yep.
What about this week? Can we still go there? Can we still go to Callum Mills? He's still cheap.
Absolutely. He's under 400K. Yes, go on.
Now,
absolutely.
The follow-up questions, he's clearly there. The follow-up questions for these, people don't have cash. There's very little cash going around. Would you consider basically making some cash going from some premiums down to a Callum Mills? So these are the options I've got. Some players, well, Whitfield was one of those options. We're saying no on that front to try and hold if you can. Rosie, Colby McKercher, even a Libber was thrown up on some of the questions on Instagram.
I think if they're not going to be a top 6 or top 6 defender, you can. Like I went Roberts down to Mills to make money. So I think if you're like, they're not going to be the best 22 or whatever. I think you can do that.
Yep. I think if they're not an absolute locked to be in that top 6 to 8 like Lachie Whitfield is, and you do have some trades, then potentially I moved Clayton Oliver on last week in a similar move. Yes, it worked out to Sam Darcy, but you could say I traded Oliver to Mills. Rosie's an interesting one. You guys are both owners. Where does he fit in, do you think, to the equation? Are you giving up some points to the real top end?
I think you keep Rosie. Like, just hope that he goes back to defence. Like, he went in the midfield. Wines went out. They put him in the midfield just for storing.
Horny played a bit more forward as well.
Yeah, you want him playing defence.
Bergman.
Yeah, and Bergman was sick as well.
Bergman also hurt his shoulder pretty badly during the game, went forward as well.
Yeah, so I reckon you keep Rose, because if he does have that halfback role, he can store massively. Yeah, and it seems, just...
Those sidewaysy trades are, I think, the luxury type trades that I'm talking about when I went, a Rowan Marshall, trading a Rowan Marshall type guy last year. That to me seems too early if you've got few trades. Now, if you do have bulk trades left, maybe that's an option.
Oh yeah, I think Rosie, I think you could do if you have 10 trades.
Yeah, I think if you're down to like,
could you trade Lachie Neal?
Yes,
I told our Haydn, friend of the show, BWAP, the other week not to trade Lachie Neal. He traded him down, got money, and ended up working out okay for him. That's the sort of trade you're thinking about. Is Lachie Neal?
I reckon you could. Lachie, he just hasn't. What's his story? He just hasn't.
Well, I mean, some of our top players in the game, even like a Zach Merritt's probably another question that people are throwing up as well. Some of these top players are just getting tagged every single week. And if you're not in a good team like Nick Dacos, for example, Bontempelli is, I mean, even Bont got affected the other week, which we never really see from him. These tags are just coming thick and fast this year. And they came from round one. They've come all year. Lachie Neal, obviously a victim of that, plus just the team's gotten better around him.
Yeah, Hugh McCluggage is actually scoring really well.
Yeah, the Clug.
Yep. So Callum Mills back-to-back Supercoach tons on the weekend. It was an all-round game. He floats around, does what I think he thinks is needed as well. 8 score involvements, 6 intercept possessions, 2 intercept marks. Took 3 kick-ins as well. Sent the ball inside 50. 5 rebound 50s, but also for the Swans for 5 inside 50s. So he's roaming up and down the ground.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
And obviously used the ball very well too.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it if you need some cash, depending on how many trades you've got, because is Callum Mills now a top 6 defender from here? Chance? I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
Swanee's looking good, by the way, on the weekend, and a certain little from last week.
Oh, here we go.
Do I need to take over the sec? I mean,
you can. You have it
off to Europe. Maybe it's Dossy segment now. Brody Grundy, huge again, and way too expensive now. Probably you could have jumped on.
Good for you. Play your sting.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Well done.
Did you bring him in though?
Well, no, I brought in the 186.
He's 650k plays. He's in your price range this week too.
The other player, Callum Mills, we talked about, a guy you said again last week, easy buying.
If you
know what though?
Replay the show. I said trade Callum Mills, Sam Darcy, and that's it. End the show.
Yep, you did say that.
Is that who you're talking about, Sam Darcy?
Yep. We are going to talk about him now though. The reason you could wait though, the break even was massive. And you know what, fans? He went down in price this week. So despite scoring 144, went down 1K, you can still get him at the same price, actually cheaper, 459K. Now he's got a 19 break even, so he's going to start skyrocketing if he keeps up this incredible form since he's come back from this injury. Again, bit more expensive than Mills, but still in that really cheap bracket. Do you think he's good buying too? 5 names?
Yeah, of course.
Still easy buying?
Yeah, and yes, easy buying. I'm backing him, fan him here. They've got so many games at Marvel, so I don't think it mattered. Like, because you do get a bit worried about key forwards kind of stuff, but he's good enough.
He might even outscore Bailey Smith from here in the forward line.
Interesting.
What are you doing about it, Chief? You just letting him go?
I probably have to.
Did you watch the game?
Have you watched? He was.
I know
Richmond.
It was
naughty.
If anyone, Noah Bolter's back there, Ben Miller. Yes, the ball came in very fast, but no, you can't stop him. As we said last week, buy, hold, sell, cheat code. He's a Bulldogs. He's a Supercoach cheat code.
And Bevo loves chucking him in the ruck for little stints, which is exactly what you need when a key forward, and especially when he's that good in the ruck as well, like he gets involved after the ball's gone up, gets hit outs to advantage. Like,
and he's so good on the ground too.
He's honestly like, we're looking at potentially, the best player in SuperCoach going forward in the next couple of years.
Oh, I reckon you'll carve that up, Dossy.
Three. So had 4 hit outs, 3 of them to advantage.
Yeah.
That's why we know 5 points.
Mate, if he's ever pure ruck, my goodness. Like if English for, you wouldn't want him to go down, but if he ever went down, Darcy would just be incredible, even more incredible than he already is. So you're saying just buy him at, Mills versus Darcy. Obviously, it's dependent on if you need a defender, if you need a forward. What if you need a flex, if you're just looking for that 23rd player?
If you're doing flex, you go Darcy.
You have to wait to top targets.
Okay.
If you're doing flex, I'll go Darcy because imagine ceiling scores you're going to get.
I've done this every week, Phantom, and I'll make this pretty quick because obviously we've got your targets to come. We've still got questions to come
and the
as
pen.
well. And the pen.
And you need names for 5 names. I've got one.
Oh, we got one.
I've got one, and it's going to eat at the heart of Dossy.
Oh, no. All right, well, I've gone through this every week. Fresh legs coming off the bye. We're just talking about the players that have just had their bye. Adelaide, Hawthorn, Melbourne and West Coast return from the bye. And I've been doing this every week. I've said potential top liners out of each of these teams and then just other potential options. So the potential top liners from here, from Adelaide, only had 2 guys here, Jordan Dawson and Isaac Rankin. Now, Rankin's been down on form as well, so
he's been playing more forward.
You'd have to wait until he turns the corner, I think, and plays maybe a bit more midfield time if you're going to be targeting him. But Jordan Dawson this week against Richmond, I've got him as a high captaincy option.
He's right in the top 5 mix as well, top targets. I do like a 583k. I was hoping he came down but he scored a ton against the Hawks too. 583k if you got the money.
Yeah, he's
nice way to finish in midfield.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be targeting your Bonts and Dacos is ahead of him, but
Bombers
still very nice schedule. Nice schedule to come and nice matchup to start with this week. You might get that spike score that we had with Bont last week against the Tigers.
So after Richmond for the following 5 at Adelaide Oval.
Very nice. Other guys from Adelaide, I'm not that interested in these guys, but Rory Laird's there.
No.
As is, this question came from Instagram, and not just one question, multiple about this guy. So people shopping in that 400k bracket for a forward. Ben Keys.
Ooh. 5 names?
I think I say Thilthorpe for a second.
Ben Keys was the player I talked about. Now, I think it's 3 tons in a row. The only thing I would say is before those tons, his last 3 games have been solid. He literally scored an 8 in a full game against the Pies. So 451k, nice 3-game run. I like him as a player. He's a heart and soul player.
It was around this time last year, I reckon. I think after their bye, like he went really well. Like had a really good run, if I'm not mistaken.
Are you saying a little honorary mention of a? Is that honorary?
Nah,
no for me.
Nah.
It's nice if you want to just take a punt.
Yeah,
have a go. Hawthorn, potential top liners from now until the end of the season. I got no one because the only player that could
no one.
Dylan Moore?
No, I agree. No,
I don't think he's in the top liner. Like he had a spike score, a big game before the bye. He's just not done it all year. I've had a look at him a couple of times. He's cheap. I can't do it myself, and I don't see him being a top 6 forward because the forward line's stacked this year in the end.
So we'll sum up Hawks on the run sheet. This is the Chiefs, Yeah. This is a summary. Heaps of cheap dudes, but Hawks game plan yuck.
Yep.
For SuperCoach.
No players are averaging over 100 except Will Day, who's out. So I'd say Will Day potential top liner, and I'm looking at him next season as a great option again.
He also could be back.
Yeah, if he's back this year and you got heaps of trades and you're just looking at a sniff for finals, but even still, coming back off injury, you wouldn't go there. So anyway,
might be a bubble boy though. Talk about a bit later.
Yes, bubble boy potential option, but none of those premium type players. James Sicily, if he looks better after coming back from injury, maybe.
I don't think so.
And one more, Lloyd Meek though. If you're looking for a cash grab and you desperately need cash, he's about 200k difference from a Sherry, from a Gawn. If you're still looking at that avenue, and you know who else?
Come on, Chief.
If TDK is still playing forward again, you can make 100k there. So if I want a Mills Phantom, and TDK is playing, if Pitnet's still in the side this week, I can make 100k going Lloyd Meek. I can get my Callum Mills.
How much from Jackson?
By that. Just leave it. Melbourne players off the bye. the top liners, Max Gawn, Christian Petrarca, if he can.
Gawn has a hard.
He's got a hard run.
The first 3 games are real hard.
And then it gets super easy.
Yeah, I know. So disgusting.
Yeah, we're holding, but are you targeting?
I think it's hard for Max.
Are you maybe wait for top targets again? But is Gawn a guy you're looking at 5 names?
I think after those 3 games.
Yeah.
You hope that he's gone down.
Yeah, so you're waiting for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christian Petrarca, non-owner.
What's hard for Max Gawn?
Wits, Sherry, someone
Depends
else.
if more teams start doing what they've done to Sherry, because the last 2 games for Sherry, they've double teamed him. They've had Luke Jackson and Sean Darcy, followed by Pitnet TDK. Yeah. So they've actually come at a strategy going double rucks against these guys who are the dominant rucks. I wonder if
Paul double rucked against him, but
yeah,
I think
didn't exactly work there.
No.
The only other guy there I've got Cozzy Pickett. I think he's got some ceiling scores. So
what do you say about Petrarca? Yeah, Phantom. What are your thoughts on Petrarca?
Could you still target him?
His price now $5.19.
You were saying I missed him, or you've made a biggest mistake not going there. He's basically back to what he was when we were all buying him as a bargain earlier this year.
Well, it's only poor scores against Port. Still a top 6.
Still hasn't got away from you.
Hasn't got away from you, no.
So you'd still go there?
If you've got
you just go Sam Darcy. Yeah.
Or Jason Horne-Francis, if you maybe want, he's down to 472K. Yes, maybe we've just got to wait and see how he is given that shoulder issue. But I think Darcy Horne-Francis, in terms of forward line targets, ahead of Christian Petrarca, given the price.
From the Weagles, potential top liners from this point, Tom McCarthy could be in the mix after 133. A 1-game sample. I'm being facetious here, fans. So not really.
Actually, I didn't have him in the top 5 targets because I just did that last week, but he actually should be in there because
he should be number 1.
He should be number 1. Got to move him.
Yeah. Anyway, so other than that, no one from West Coast.
Yep.
However, talking about targets that are cheap, I don't think we'll need too many more of these segments because, it's really getting towards the end of our needing the money. But rookies on the bubble.
Can you record singing songs, voiceovers for off season for next year? Every segment? Just
might do that actually. Good idea.
Because you fancy yourself.
Yeah.
Don't you? In front of the mic.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So, as I mentioned, important to make cash. But at this point, this is actually something I realized last week, which sort of wish I'd thought of at the time of the pod to make these final trades. So last week, I made the decision to go the big dog in Luke Jackson. You've mentioned it a few times. But to get there, I had to go the 99K route. And I was thinking to myself, I was looking at a Rouston and I was like, he's going to be a good option. I was looking at a Jack Martin. I was like, I think he's going to be a good option too. But I needed the cash to get the big dog, to get that 186. And I thought, stuff it, fans. We got no trades. How am I even going to cash out half these guys? Is now the time, especially if you're low on trades. You can just stuff it and go 99Ks, even if they're not going to be as good. I got pretty lucky. I went a Liddy.
Pretty lucky.
I went a Liddy and I went a Archer May. Archer May I looped on for 83, which was unbelievable. But can you go these?
Smug Dossy. Get the steam going. Good for you, mate. Good for you.
Can you go these 99K guys now? That especially, one's actually on the bubble. So Manny Liddy.
Definitely.
On the bubs, 99K mid. Yeah. But the guys that aren't playing, moving forward from these two, because they're 2 clear options. So Archer May, he's on the buy. He's 99K. If he's still playing, absolutely jump on. I'd even jump on this week. I think his job security's fine.
You don't need the player.
You
don't need the extra.
Yeah, I think I'm jumping on him this week.
But after you've got those guys, I think it's fine now. Just stuff it. Get your team. If you need the cash to go way up, the only thing is, yes, if you need the coverage as well, we've got some other options here. So Sam Butler, 126K forward, -50 break even. You've liked the look of him, Phantom.
Yeah. The concern with him, was won a lot of footy in the VFL before his recall. Concern was how long would he stay in that side, but he was good again down in Tassie against the Crows. Interesting to see what Sam Mitchell does at selection. Think of his name, he's a good option, but again, could use that extra money and go to Manny Liddy. So Sam Butler's not going well enough and his job security is not strong enough to, warrant that extra spend.
Yep. Max Ramsden as well from the Hawks is on the bubble, 128k forward, negative 45 break-even. Similar scores, really, to Butler. But does he stay in the team, Phantom?
Have to ask Sam Mitchell. I think you definitely wait and see, but I don't think we need to go there.
Yeah, I think Mitch Lewis is maybe coming back soon if he didn't play the last round.
Just an update.
Yep.
On the trade poll that I put up before, we're at 210 votes.
Jeez. All right.
Still got it.
28.6% of the votes have 5 or less. 31 have 6 or 7. 25 have between 8 and 10. Only 14% have 10 or more. So it's heavily weighted to the lower end.
Yep.
5 or less. Now up to 30% just ticked over again.
Okay. Good to know.
Makes me feel better.
Yep. It does. Again, I will just mention. So those are the guys on the bubble that I think are the best targets. Archer May's on the bubble, but he's on the bye. But I still, again, if you're okay for numbers this week and you don't desperately, like, what are you going to get extra from if Butler plays? You might get a 50. Like, is it worth sacrificing 27k for that? I don't know. Having an extra player on field. Decide where you're at, where your team's at. Those are the 4 guys: Manny Liddy, Sam Butler, Max Ramsden, Archer May. Tom McCarthy, though, if you don't have him, skyrockets up to the top. He's only played 1 game, so you could wait technically, but he's going to be a solid scorer on field. So you jump on board ASAP. 99k defender mid. He's already got a negative 93 break even after only playing 1 game. Now, finally, again, just some more cash gen stuff here. If you so desire, some guys that might be able to actually score a little bit better than these other rooks. I'll skip over Tyrell Dewar just because I think he's just too expensive now. 228k, sorry, but he's got a negative 36 break even. I think we just skip past him. Couple of nice scores, though, in his past 2 games, but he's...
Skip.
Yep. Harry Rouston, though, 161k.
No.
I think that's a no from you, fans.
I don't think you're not making enough money, are you, there?
I don't think so, but I also think if you want job security, I think he might be actually pretty safe for the rest of the year. And I think he might be...
If you need to play.
I don't think he's... Cover. I think he's almost... trying to think of the guy's name from Sydney. Sheldrick. I think he's almost Timu Sheldrick for the way home. I think he's close to... I think he's 70s type guy from here, and he could make another... I think he's probably got the best cash generation potential out of any rookie aside from McCarthy. So I'm just throwing that out there that if you do have if you're on those higher end of trades, he might be still the guy. Of course, he's on the bye this week, so you can wait a week. Jack Martin, too late, 190k.
Yep.
Rolled forward as well. You guys said kicked a couple of goals. So
probably played a bit higher on the wing, which we didn't like to see. I'll just quickly look at where he won most of his footy because we were talking about that on the fly.
Nicholas Madden, 200k. Gee, he went up 80 odd k, but Briggsy could be in the frame to return after the bye, so you could at least definitely not go there this week.
Does Briggsy definitely come back?
Well, we don't know that. That's the thing. But you can't go this week on Madden because you don't know that. Yeah. So next week, maybe an option when you're over and traversing Europe there. 5 names.
Bit more split, Jack Martin, 60-40 ball and defensive half to the forward half, which we liked him last week as purely as a ball user out of defence. Maybe not so much, especially given the price rise already.
Now, the people have been waiting for this, Phantom.
Yep.
The time, your verdict, the top targets for the week.
I'd like a singing overlay as well next year for this.
Okay.
I really do a rap.
Yeah.
Now I've had to make a quick change. I've got Tom McCarthy.
Okay.
Everyone should have got him last week.
Your SuperCoach expert here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Now, I've been nailing these. As you know, I'm surprised you just haven't, gone back and just clipped it up, the previous ones, so we can talk it up.
Good for you. Thanks.
All right. This is who you need to trade in this week. Number 1, Tom McCarthy, as we just spoke about, 99k. Cash generation, but more importantly, job security and scoring potential on field. Could he count potentially as your final player on the field? Maybe we'll see more over the next couple of weeks. But get him in this week. Yes, not on the bubble, but doesn't matter. You need him on the field in a tough bye week. Number 2, this is the big call between Callum Mills or Sam Darcy. Sam Darcy, number 2 in the trade-in targets this week. I think could be the number 1 forward from here.
Oof.
Low break even, get him in, Chief, do it. Number 3, Callum Mills, not far behind, sub 400k, great buying, great roll, good way to finish off your defence, top 6 to 8 chance, so definitely classify him as a premium and can be your final upgrade or potentially downgrade as we've spoken about. Number 4, Jack McRae.
Nice.
Now, under 500k, back in a big way, 130 plus on the weekend. Another good option to finish your forward line. Maybe you got Darcy last week. If you need an extra play and need a final flex spot, he could be the one. He's the one I'm considering potentially finish off my team. Still averaging 107 points per game. And we know he was slowed a little bit before that injury, but was back doing what he does best on the weekend. So Jack McRae. Now, number 5 to 8. We've got to combine 5 to 8 now.
What?
We've got a 4-way tie for number 5. We'll run through them quickly.
Fence-sitting fans.
If you need a downgrade option, 5 to 8. So Manny Liddy from the Power, 99k. Nick Dacos too, underpriced premium, back in form in the midfield. Jason Horne-Francis, number 7, only this far down, 472k, given he played a bit more forward. Is the shoulder still a problem? You can probably wait and see, but I still don't mind a big clash on Thursday night against the Blues. Jordan Dawson, number 8 in the 5 to 8 bracket, given the Crows play the Tigers this week.
What do we think of that? 5 names, bit of a fence sit.
Yeah, no.
Top 5.
Big week, a lot of names.
Nah, I don't like it.
Who would you take, Darcy or Mills? I've made the call.
I also would take Darcy.
Yeah, I said Darcy before.
Okay.
I think, the prices, they're not that dissimilar, are they?
Mm.
It's like 50k.
Yep. Oh,
Darcy's just a freak.
yeah.
Yep.
Chief,
Number 1 forward for me.
hit me with Pew Pew.
All right, you're ready.
Get ready to have your soul crushed.
Oh, no.
All right.
Dun.
It's a bit of a risky one,
Ooh.
but if you want to make money, there's someone, if you already got your Mills in, Mills should be in a one. If you want to make money, Sam Flanders might be back.
No,
Did
you put him up to this?
No,
I just wanted to.
I think I'd be upset about this.
No,
I
just wanted to get in. I wanted to get in before you.
No, this is embarrassing stuff.
There's one bad score, but his last 4 games, there's one really bad score, but he's around the 90s. I'm not saying that, it's
90. Whoa,
no, I'm just saying.
Straight 90 average. That'll be top 25.
I'm just saying to make if you really need to make money, really need to make money.
Yep. How was the Suns all week? By the way,
No.
like the trade rumor started the week before. After Dossy's been talking about it for way longer. It's finally the media picked up.
You're talking about SuperCoach trades and real trades.
And then Gold Coast come out. They even put together a social. So Dimmer came out, said, nah, he's not going anywhere. He's one of our best players. He's sure he's going to start firing. And then it was like they put out this social media package as well. Did you guys see it?
No.
So they put out like a Flanders post, like a video highlight package. Basically like, he's not going anywhere vibes.
Yep.
And then Dimmer gives him 0 centre bounces.
Because he's not going anywhere on the field as well.
No.
I'm just
So
starting to see
he
a little
rolled to stoppage a lot.
yeah.
He was at stoppages a lot.
starting
At
to
the
see a
moment,
little-
Put him in the guts.
Just
He's a
starting to see a
Timu Harry Sheasel at the moment.
Yeah. Just starting to see a little bit of life from him.
That's actually a great
Yeah,
call.
yeah, that's a good call. But
Because-
he has a little bit of life. And I want to get him before Dossy, and if he does yeah.
When's the flight?
You could have got before me if you said him about 10 weeks ago, but what mate. Love that one though. Sammy Flanders. He'd be what price? He's actually like similar price to Mills.
Oh no, he's less. I think he's less.
He's cheaper than Mills. Get him in.
He's 378. He's still break even of 100, so he's probably going to go down a bit more.
Oh dear.
But we like it.
We do like that one though. Yeah, still got the pan to come, but a few questions.
If they are asking that question, they can ask it to me directly. What question do you want to ask me?
I see Ken.
Has Ken seen you?
No, I told you I haven't seen him. I see him Thursday night though.
Oh, yes.
Jimmy.
Now we'll be watching because we'll clip it up next week as well.
Yeah, definitely clip that one.
Do they still do like when they show the
That'd be
journos
funny.
asking the questions?
Well, why don't you message Bear? Make sure that you get on.
Ooh, no.
All right, questions from Adam. This one off Instagram. Put it up as a story this time. Kane McAuliffe. What's going on there from Adam? How'd he go? I didn't even see.
He got in.
He didn't play.
He got injured.
He withdrew. It wasn't a late day withdrawal. It was like the day before.
Oh. Yeah. No, he didn't play it.
Old Buzz Lightyear over here.
Hang on, I think I've got a buzz.
I traded him out. I was trading him out anyway, and I wasn't overly happy with it.
Did you trade him out? Oh, really not. I thought
Until he was.
But
good
I am
point.
Buzz Lightyear, and I'm in charge of this detachment.
Anyway.
We're not sure.
Light years ahead.
He hurt himself at training.
Okay. Time to trade out Lachie Neale with the buy this week. We kind of mentioned it. So Zach Merritt was also one of those things. So people are thinking of trading to Dacos, to Bond, to other guys like
I'm
that.
not against
What do
it.
you think?
I'm not against it because Bond's going to be, they're going Dacos and Bond are going to be top 8 mids. I'm unsure about Neale and Merritt to me.
Yeah, well, Lawrence on X as well. 8 trades left, considering Neale to Mills. Spoke about.
Yeah. You like it?
I wouldn't.
I
only do it to make money.
I don't like it.
No, I don't. The only reason I'd trade Mills is if you couldn't get any money and you can make another upgrade. So if you trade Neale, I wouldn't be sidewaysing or going to another premium.
Yeah. Do you trade, and this could go for any rookies that are, slightly fattened up, but trade Angus Clark early to do an upgrade. So we could say this for a bunch of not quite fattened up rookies. They've still got a low break even, but thoughts on that?
Yeah. Yep, I'm going to do it this week. Well, if I trade, we know they've got the buy. So I think he's at 217K, he's at 104K to his price tag, break even of 34. So even with a solid score on return, his price is not going to go through the roof. Even if he scored 70, let's say, after the buy, only goes up about 15K.
Yeah.
If he comes out and scores a ton that day, then his cash range is going to be a slow burn. So you're probably only going to miss out on 40, 50K potentially, and that could be over 4 or 5 weeks. So if you make the upgrade, I'd do it.
How about Shea Bolton to Sam Darcy? Is that too sideways as well? Or do we like that?
Oh, yeah.
Or if Fandom's saying he's going to be a potential top 6 forward for the run home, Sam Darcy?
No. Top forward for the run home.
Forward, sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
If he's a number 1 forward, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think so. I think
4K.
Bolton still can store pretty well, but I think Darcy's just better.
Yeah, it would depend on if he's playing this week, obviously, Shea Bolton.
Now, this was a question, but Five Names already answered it very well. Buy max score now or wait until his fixture gets juicy at round 19?
Yeah.
So you're saying wait.
Do that. Yeah, wait. Just hope that he actually goes down.
What's his break even?
Just let me have a look at,
142.
Yeah.
It's achievable for old Gorney.
It is achievable, but he does have...
If you're a non-owner
Madden
and you
scored
get your
99
chance,
against
if you're
Wits.
a non-owner and you get a chance to jump on though, do you just do it? Because everything can change. You might not end up being able to get him. And if he's got the juicy run home, you still prefer to wait. I mean, we did this with Bond and it didn't work.
I reckon you try to because it's Wits, O'Brien, Cherry. There's a good chance one of the stores is low.
Yeah, I think he's gone now as a target. I think it's too late.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think when we went with Bond,
I think I agree with Five Names. I think you can, if you have that last trade to make and you've a couple of your cash cows have fattened up by that point. I think for the last month of the season, again, he could be huge.
Because it is.
If he's still healthy, if he's still firing, and he has had those down games.
Yeah,
I agree. Could be a bargain. He could be your top target in a few weeks, Vince.
Yeah. Lock it in.
Dion Prestia, just exclamation mark, was a comment here. So he was terrible.
I hope nobody went him.
You've been strong on it. I think you were strong on it.
We all said no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just seen that.
Also had a question, Luke Jackson versus Gawn.
Did you ask this?
Luke Jackson. Pay up for Luke Jackson?
No.
Okay.
No.
Gawn versus Luke Jackson, though, for this person.
What's the price difference? 678 and 645. Gawn.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
You're against LJ.
Playing Ryan Marshall this week. Nah, Jackson, mate. Maybe Jackson.
But you haven't had to they haven't had to deal with the smugness that we've had to deal with.
And the final one here. How do we cope this week with so many buy premiums?
I think we've covered most of that, haven't we?
Yeah.
How do we cope?
Right.
I think also know a lot of people in the same boat. And again, focus on your premium count. Obviously, that is the question there. You've still got a good premium count, but you might only scrape 18 or you've only got 17. You know, trading in a couple extra rookies, your Manny Liddies, Bo Allen, whoever, that still might not focus. If you can get one premium and you still play short, I think that'll help out rather than 2 rookies, as we've said. So the premium account is the important part. If you're executing a trade this week, make sure you're getting in a premium and not just making up your numbers with the rookies.
Yep.
Just before you get in, just to make sure everyone's aware, I am
one team here.
I am distancing myself from Phantom and the Pan. I'm with Dossy. Dossy and I, we do not condone it. We do not endorse this at all. We're over here.
And we stick up our own in Supercoach. That is what we do.
I'm not following you in this.
Friend of the show, DR, involved in a bit of a verbal stoush on X over the weekend. We don't like that from anyone. No. We preach peace and love in the wider fantasy community. Now, DT Talk, the OGs of the fantasy football world. Everyone, including us, grew up listening to them on fantasy. Good fellas too. Had a beverage with them last year whenever they were in Adelaide last on the day. You thought I was in the crowd. Got up there in your AFL fantasy, keeper league, pod, whatever, and bagged me, didn't you?
Yeah, and let me tell you, the crowd went wild too.
That's pretty good from you, Dossy.
It was good. The crowd was up on their feet.
See, Dossy and myself over here. I found him over there.
Yeah, lovely fellas. We know what they've done for the fantasy community, but we didn't like the interaction we saw on the weekend. And they've also called us out about copying the punishments idea. We did a few pickle juice at the start of the year. I did some research at the time, looked it up, just couldn't find anywhere that they invented punishments or had it copyrighted. So just stop bagging us. And no more stoushes on X. Our man DR, bit of a joke, wouldn't hurt a fly. That guy, I think, obviously called Kobe McKercher a butcher. And if you look at his stats, 25 of his 44 kicks in the last 2 weeks have not hit a target. So we know that's not what DR meant. But again, peace and love in the Supercoach community. We didn't like it at all in the pan. Like, not a collective. We're not putting everyone in the pan. But those involved in the argument in the pan.
I really hope you get involved in a stoush. But yes, as I hopefully made it aware, Dossy and I are over here.
Two faces.
We've distanced ourselves from
faces.
Yeah, that's Phantom's views.
Again, peace and love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love the traders. Love DR.
We all get along.
Come together.
We all love
We want to see
fantasy
this smooth.
football.
We want to see this smoothed out.
We love fantasy football.
We do.
To be fair, I wouldn't mind seeing Phantom get involved in a bit of a stoush.
Get him in the ring. You reckon? All right. Is that going to do us?
Yep.
I got a little song to go us out
singing?
now. No, not me. This was done by the Fremantle social media team a few years ago now.
Geez.
Of course, Luke Jackson.
I haven't thought about the unicorn much as well, but that sounds nice.
For me, I really like unicorn.
What do you like about unicorn?
Unicorn, a big forward rock dog. He has a